Solved the holy beauty bird. The VM Land blood sect is still alive and kicking, unscathed, observing the drama it created. The large gem on its head was emitting strange rays of light, covering everyone on the ground. Obviously everyone had fallen in. I couldn't resist the illusion. I didn't even realize I was falling into the illusion. Tan Kong immediately opened the summoning space. Damn it, it's magic, letting my people kill each other. He raised his hand and called out. The demonic beast, which Tabin said calmly on the side, stood out of the protective range of the soul shock lamp. Otherwise we will be like them. In the next second, the guard's sickle fell. Thanks to the demon Da beast, the two of them escaped death and quickly climbed onto its shoulders to stay out of attack range. The ghosts who were in the illusion showed an innocent smile on their faces, standing firmly on the shoulders of the demon Da too. The soul lamp in Tabin's hand, protecting the demon Da beast's head, avoiding mind control. Suddenly Tabin threw the soul lamp out and shouted loudly. Captain, take advantage of this moment to expand the scope of the soul lamp. The captain's energy was 4 levels greater than Tabin's. Under his enhancement, the scope of the soul shock lamp gradually expanded, instantly covering everyone in it. Tan Khan hastily poured his energy into soul shaking and breaking the illusion for everyone. Deep Tran Sun and the others woke up and couldn't help but suffer from severe headaches. After that, they discovered the bad things around them and also understood what had happened. The two of Tabin jumped to the ground. Tabin asked, "Is everyone okay? Stay within the protective scope of the soul lamp." Immediately Tabin gave the order. Everyone put their energy into the lamp. Expanding the scope of the soul lamp can break magic. At this moment, a strange noise appeared in the canyon. A ferocious beast that had never been seen before was attacking everyone. Standing outside with Tran Long in the lead, he discovered something unusual. He immediately shouted, as if there was some movement. The soul lamp can only defend against mental attacks, and is ineffective against physical attacks. Tran Long instantly shouted. The demon beast and the guard guarded at the same time the magic weapon in their hands. But the incident was too urgent to cover everything. Tran Long looked at the falling debris and flew over. Brother Su was careful, only to see the star shield behind Tran Long crumble, his whole body blocked in front of Tabin, using his body to block the falling rain of thorns. Seeing this, Tabin and everyone immediately deployed. Defending, Tan Kong angrily shouted, protecting the soul of the lantern. Tabin immediately realized, holding the injured Tran Long with both hands and roaring angrily. Who is it? Get out here, above the canyon. The sneak attacker finally showed his face, only to see the leading man laughing haha. The destruction effect of the second Pancreas star attack was indeed first class. The person behind came with a level 8 upper and lower evil strategy. He is the vice captain of the evil team and has an average level 8 strategy. He confidently smiled haha. Sorry, our boss has orders. We can't let someone deal with the blood of VM Land so quickly. Neep Tan Kong was stabbed, angrily suppressing the pain. We do not hold grudges. Why assassinate us? The blue-haired man looked at him like an idiot haha and laughed. When you die, don't you know what happened? Think carefully about why you people have that map. Nyat Tan Kong looked in disbelief. That map, was it from the beginning? Were you the ones who turned us into bait, leading to VM Land's bloodshed? The blue-haired man was pleased. Now he knew it was too late. In the midst of such a precious treasure in the secret realm, do you think you can spend a little money to buy it? Obediently act as bait and hold on to Yan Lan's blood and hand it over. At this time, Tabin slowly opened his summoning space. A small dark skeleton slowly walked out, and in Tabin's hand he also took out a circle-shaped item. The blue-haired man looked down on him. What do you want to do? Maybe you haven't had time to fight me yet. Your teammates have been eaten by the blood of VM Lan. Tabin didn't pay attention to him either. The final level beast trap in his hand was thrown directly at the blood-curdling VM Lan. Rays of light shot out from the beast trapping ring, directly hitting the place where the blood-curdling VM Lan was watching the show. Suddenly from the level animal trap, dozens of golden chains were shot out, immediately wrapping around. Squeezing VM Lan's blood, the blue-haired man could no longer calm down when he saw that. What's that? The level 9 epigastric level 9 blood transfer inflammation was caught like that? Such a high-level ferocious beast should only have a 50% chance of success. From that direction came waves of vibrating iron chains. And VM Lan's blood from Yu Weifang just now was now making waves of screams, wanting to struggle to escape. But in just a moment, the world instantly became quiet. I could hear the sound of a pin dropping, and the blood bud was absorbed by the beast's ring. Transformed on the spot, Deep Tran Sun and Lak Kok Tuyat were overjoyed. Both were happy to see this. As for the Ta Dok team, it's unbelievable. At the same time, Tabin used spirit control to carry the small bone, riding the wind to the back of the opponent's people. Why did he still stand there? Didn't he want to stop us? Looking at the scumbag who sneaked in, he said, "What's going on? Hurry up and help your father." As soon as they returned, they were shocked. Unexpectedly, Tabin could ride the wind, and in the back then battle team, there was a level 9 powerhouse. But the blue-haired man shouted loudly. What was he afraid of? What about granting badges? Didn't you see he only brought a skeleton with him? Immediately he pointed at Tabin and shouted, "Tu Kich Thiat, come to me. Are you still afraid of him?" All aimed at him. Just as he was about to fight, Tabin saw something wrong below. Below everyone, trying to take care of each other a little. At this time, Lak Kok Tuyat looked worried while bandaging Tankong. "Captain, you have to try harder." Nyat Tankong coughed for 2 hours then asked, "How are the others?" Deep Tran Sun replied in a broken voice, "Min Lao and Tran Long did not survive. This sneak attack caused serious casualties. Nyat Tankong's condition is not optimistic. It is almost time for the lamp to run out of oil." Tabin immediately returned to everyone's side. Tabin heard the captain's call and said with an indifferent expression, "Captain, I'm here." Tan said without any effort, "Brother Tu, thanks to you." Just now when running out of the cave, Nyat Tan did not say to Tabin, "Brother Su, to be honest, I have a bad feeling. If something goes wrong, can you help me bring the spirit tree back?" But Tabin was a little skeptical. This spirit fruit was a monk's cultivation. If he wasn't alive, why would he increase his cultivation? But was given to my daughter by Tankong with a serious face. I heard that the spirit fruit can activate the potential of a battle pet, but it cannot help her overcome this disease and cure her incurable disease. I've worked all my life in the wasteland. I can't take good care of her. That's the only thing I can do for my loved ones. Tabin heard Nyat Tankong's last words and immediately went straight into the cave. Tabin with a serious face told him to rest assured. "I'll go and come back soon." Tabin said he'll definitely be able to do it. At this time, in the cave, the people of the evil team were frantically plundering all kinds of treasures protected by the 9th super beast. Someone shouted loudly in front of the Star Still Spirit tree, "Captain, this tree is too big. It's not easy to carry. What should I do now?" The captain couldn't help but scold him for being stupid. He is a person with level 8 combat power. Why do you still have to ask this? Take the fruit, cut down the tree. We can't take it, and others shouldn't expect to have it either. The subordinate holding the axe in his hand immediately burst into laughter. The captain was right. He waved his hand towards the fruit and struck. Suddenly there was a cracking sound behind him. Before he could react, he was attacked from behind, piercing through his neck. This guy immediately fell down. The evil team members around him immediately became alert. Shout. Who? Could it be someone from the northern god who came in? The yellow-headed guy was near the guy who was just shot dead, analyzed. It's impossible. The blood-matched Yanlan is above the middle level 9. The second old man is still out there. Unless there is an immortal in the back then battle team. Looking at this wound, the pressure suddenly fell on him. This wound very clean. Of course it was made by a level 9 expert. He immediately shouted, "I don't know which expert appreciates these secret treasures. Come out here to negotiate. We are willing to give up half." As soon as he finished speaking, another gathering of energy flew through the air. Two people standing next to each other, unable to take precautions, cannot survive. The rest were so scared they wanted to pee their pants. Who is it in the end? Come here. Only know how to assassinate. Tabin's eyes had nothing but cold murderous intent. His fingers moved slightly, his skills appeared on his palm. The essence condensed into a long needle. The next second, the golden needle from his hand instantly pierced all the obstacles on the way. The long needle cut through the air, and everyone was pierced through with one blow. The blond man saw Tabin's traces. In his hand, he directly opened 2 summoning spaces. Once he found them, he didn't drink the invited wine and crave the punishment, and the summoning space hadn't opened in time. The peach-black kumquat steamed coldly, and with just one lift of the eyebrow, it cut through the head. The 2 pet beasts had just emerged from the summoning space. Blood immediately flowed out from the slash, only to see the little skeleton with red eyes slowly landing on the ground. The blonde felt the sacrifice of his star pet. His soft legs knelt on the ground. His expression was incredulous. My 2 9th-level star pets were suddenly killed by one move. Immediately his face turned ashen ash and begged for forgiveness. The master spared his life. Take all these treasures, please forgive me. Tabin slowly walked in front of him but didn't say a word. Kim Mao Nam said it himself. Didn't you come here to steal the treasure? Did they come to hunt us down? Kim Mao Nam knew he kept it. More or less, he opened his mouth again. Tell me your name, at least tell me at whose hands you died. Before the blonde finished speaking, a needle-like energy suddenly shot out, instantly passing through his head. Tabin's face remained unchanged, the person I decided to kill, never giving him any chance to react. If you resist, you will die with eternal fear and doubt. Tabin alone pulled everyone into a corner, then summoned the Hell Bamboo Dragon Beast, used its fire to burn all the people, erasing all traces. Tabin went to the Crystal Star tree, collecting the whole tree into his character space. He thought to himself, he didn't expect that someone would attack right from the start. Luckily, thanks to Tran Long and the others, he was able to keep his life. In reality, the desolate land was fought everywhere, and had to quickly adapt to the new environment. Night fell, everyone returned to base number 7. Tabin asked, do you have any next plans? Lak Kok Toyot's expression has dropped. We have to return to bury the captain, and then deal with the matter of Min Lao and Tran Long. Deep Tran Sun's face was strange. Boss 2 was saved by you again. This pitiful appearance made him laugh. He didn't expect that this time he would suffer such heavy casualties. Boss 2, do you want to come back with us? Tabin looked at the Nebula Spirit Tree and said, no, we will break up here. I have work to do. You guys should preserve this tree and take its fruit, regularly giving it to the captain's daughter to use. Deep Tran Sun and Lak Kok Tuyot were startled. Boss 2, this is the legendary Spirit Tree Nebula, don't you want it? How do you know the captain has a daughter? Tabin's face was indifferent. Don't pay attention to those details, can it be done? Both quickly stood up and seriously assured. Tabin turned around and opened the space storage box, took out the loot and said, and these treasures, found in the cave, can be sold for a lot of money. All divided among you and the family of the deceased. Lak Kok Tuyot was immediately moved and almost shed tears. Master 2, don't you take anything? Tabin looked at the soul in his space and nodded. Captain and Tran Long risked their lives so we could have a chance to survive. I'm very grateful to him. In his heart, he secretly thought, the most important thing here, now that he has it, he will go look for treasures elsewhere. These unused secret treasures can be conveniently given away in exchange for some favors. Suddenly there was an announcement from the loudspeaker. The pioneers left the base, went to the security room, did not check the treasure, were not allowed to take it out. Deep Tran Sun heard it and prepared to leave. The wound on his body made him a bit uncomfortable. Tabin saw this, so they went to the security room. Soon everyone arrived at the security room. There were not many things in the large room. There were only people checking all kinds of secret treasures, mysterious swords, and swords. There were also a few people sitting and observing. These 3 people yawned continuously while listening to the prosecutor's report, not at all interested in the level 6 treasure. Not worth mentioning, Tabin saw this and asked in a low voice, what were those 3 people doing? But Deep Tran Sun quickly whispered that in the middle was a level 9 powerhouse. The 2 people next to him were also level 8, until there was an announcement. The spirit tree rang out. It was a level 9 treasure. They just noticed it. They didn't expect that even the star aggregate spirit tree could be obtained. The blue-haired man smiled and asked, "This fruit is delicious. How much does it cost?" "Let's bid." Deep Than Sun stepped forward, blocking the spiritual tree in front, and said firmly, "Sorry, this fruit is not for sale. Everything else can be negotiated." Suddenly the level 8 long-haired man kicked it away. Deep Tran Sun said contemptuously, "What is this trash doing? $5 million is enough. Go away." Both of them are level 8, just need to eat fruit to be promoted directly to the title. Both of them showed greedy faces as they approached to pick the fruit. Suddenly a hand stopped them. The long-haired man's expression was gloomy. "What the hell are you doing?" He thought to himself, "Who is this who can hold his hand?" Tabin's face was indifferent. He didn't do anything. We decided not to go back. At the end of the check, he thought to himself, "Damn the security check. It was clearly a bunch of vultures stealing money. Even the manager wanted to rob things. He knew this early, put it all in his personal space. I'm afraid where do you want to take it?" The other two looked at Tabin threateningly. "You are a swallow. It's not your turn at the end of the test." As soon as he finished speaking, these two people suddenly gathered their strength. The two heavy fists gathered their energy and directly sent Tabin flying. Tabin quickly stood up and patted the dust, and the group of colonists behind him also ran to see. What is this? Why fight? The blue-haired man thought to himself. The opportunity to advance to level 9 is right in front of him. How can he let him take away delicious food? He read out Article 72 of the Federal Administrative Law. Security guards can be restrained by force. If the circumstances are serious, the offender can be executed on the spot, and young people gather around to watch. Laughing and talking, one more person dares to confront the government. Before the dew has dried, there is another guy. Well, it seems that this is the guy who dares to surpass Duang Jia. Let's capture him together and give him to Duang Jia in exchange for reward. Suddenly, there was a sound in the sky. It's a bit too much. The people in front under the stars. Look for the source of the voice. Blindly concealing your strength will only continue to attract those who hate you. Only see the Tao Venerable holding a jar of wine hanging high above. Child, if you want to go to another world, wider world, boldly show your claws for them to see. He immediately looked at Tabin meaningfully. The path will automatically open for the strong. After hearing this, Tabin should not open up. The world is vast. Thank you for reminding me. Immediately the other two rushed forward aggressively. Why are you standing there? Just as they were about to throw punches and kicks, suddenly in front of them, two energetic hands appeared. A second later, two loud slaps echoed throughout the room. The energetic hands fiercely smashed towards one person. Everyone. Here, we saw two inspectors being knocked out, creating two holes. Both were a bit surprised. The two of them got up, looking at Tabin with disbelief on their faces. Was he a title-level powerhouse? Immediately, all kinds of voices were heard from all around. How could this be possible? Clearly. Apparently, even the young masters of the four great families have not yet reached the 8th level. Who exactly is this person? The spirit control skill has activated again. I saw the giant hands condensed by the essence slowly reaching out, lifting the tin van spirit tree and taking it in with Tabin's loud scream. Those giant hands immediately carried the spirit tree towards space and threw it away. Get in there, the crowd behind immediately shouted in horror. Look, that's the energy of the sky. This person is truly a title-level powerhouse. The two guys were beaten to the ground and looked at the spirit tree nebula disappearing, and said with a look of horror on their faces, disappearing again. There are also space system secret treasures. These two people suddenly felt cold. Space system secret treasures have always been masterpieces that money cannot buy. What background does this person have? The blue-haired man also. They looked confused, thinking they had delicious food. But unexpectedly they stroked the tiger's whiskers. Immediately, the two of them stood up and bowed their heads towards Tabin, smiling. We have eyes but cannot see the mountain. We have offended you just now. Let's slap it. After being slapped, it was because we deserved it. I hope you will forgive me. The male lead saw that and instead squeezed his fingers loudly. That slap was my friend's teacher's revenge. Now I have to settle the matter. The man with long hair trembled as he raised his fingers. indicating that he could compensate 20 million crystal coins. Suddenly, the level 9 guy who was sitting below slowly spoke up. 20 million is not enough. Each person must have 30 million. If you pass the chair you sit in will be gone. I originally wanted to let you guys be free as long as you don't cause a stir. This time remember to be careful. Tabin secretly thought, do you want to slap me in the face with money? I'm not that kind of person, but I want to upgrade my pet shop. 60 million was acceptable. The next day he chose to bow to the coin, opened the code and was ready, saying so be it, pay. After receiving the money, Su Bin returned to Tran Sun and Kok Tuyet. It was all because of my poor strength that I let them be pressured, and Lak Kok Tuyet was also unbearably embarrassed. If I could be a little stronger, it would be better, this time again. I have to trouble Master to take action. Tabin consoled and said, I don't blame you. I underestimated the influence of this tree. I will bring it to my husband until the captain's daughter is cured. Can be food for pets. When you reach level 8, I will give you a support tree to help you reach level 9 easily. When Lak Kok Tuyet heard this, he immediately blushed with excitement, but Deep Tran Sun did not. Couldn't hide the mixed joy on his face. How about giving it to us? Boss 2. You're so kind. Thanks to the 60 million collected from those 2 security guys, Tabin is now extremely rich. At this time like a prince riding a white horse, mistakenly a black dog, coming to number 98 of Dragon Scale Continent. Suddenly Tabin turned around and ordered, Dark Dragon Dog. You let's spy around and see. Let's go into the water for a while. If anything unusual happens, use your awareness to call me. The dragon dog let out a soft cry of agreement. Tabin jumped straight into the lake, using both his arms and legs to dive down. Deeper, reaching the bottom of the lake, Tabin silently thought. He remembered that there was an object hidden here, capable of moving enough to leave the mountains and fill the lake. Tabin swam to the bottom of the lake and discovered there was a temple, so I aimed for it and swam to it. It was too hidden. Otherwise I would have accidentally seen it in the Dragon King's lineage. The ghost had just found this place. In the temple there was only a skeleton wearing a robe sitting cross-legged, holding a wooden box in his arms. Tabin's eyes immediately lit up. He found it. He opened the box. Inside the box is a painting, called Chinkan Painting Book. This painting can create a small world through energy, similar to the storage space provided by the system. Although it cannot contain as much as the system's items, but can accommodate living things, and the size of this space will increase as the user's power increases. With his current level 5 spiritual level, he should be able to create the space as 4 to 5 times larger than the sphere. In the future nebula trees will grow there. After deciding, he was satisfied and put the painting back into the storage space. Suddenly, the dark dragon dog sent a warning signal. It detected movement above. Looking up, it saw only a bird moving. Flying is a bird that has the ability to share vision with its pet owner. Tabin carefully poked his head out to observe. With one glance he confirmed that the bird was sent by someone on purpose. I clearly remember that around here, there is also a top-quality secret treasure, the undead fruit, that can make the devil's star pet, have the ability to be immune to fatal wounds, and transfer it to small countries. Attack, extremely appropriate. Immediately, Tabin immediately transmitted the idea to the dog, the dark dragon dog, to find the location of the owner of that bird. I want to confirm whether the spirit fruit was taken away by them or not. At the same time, 2 war pets were running away in the dry forest. One of them was holding a box at his waist. The box emitted a faint dark energy, like a layer of fog, in the dead forest. Why does that bird keep following us? Maybe we were targeted by someone. Suddenly a wind blade came out of nowhere, aimed at the 2 people, and the tree branch under their feet immediately said goodbye to the tree trunk. Who was it? I only saw Chak Fong Quan's energy swirling in his hands, his mouth indifferently saying, the 2 of them were in too much of a hurry. Could it be that they stumbled upon some treasure? The 2 men immediately recognized at a glance that the person coming was old Duang Jia Song Fong. He frowned. What do you want? Duang Nhuyen slowly walked out and said coldly, if he knew we were Duang Jia, why don't you quickly put down the things in your hands, the undead fruit in your hands? We have already aimed for it. If it weren't for things in the dragon country that would delay some time, where would it be your turn? The two men saw that things were not going well, immediately grabbed the box and turned to leave. 36 escape plans were the best strategy. At this moment, in the sky, a giant hand of energy appeared enough to cover them both. Both of them shouted in surprise, quickly took a defensive stance, their energy condensed. The wind demon let out a cold cry, and even tried to run away, intending to use the axe to deceive the worker. After speaking, he immediately took action and forced the two of them crashing to the ground, in front of the tidal-level condensed star power. The 8th-level War Pet Master was as helpless as a child. Being crushed under the power of star power, he spat out a mouthful of ketchup, still angry. But spoke up, if you guys do this, aren't you afraid of ruining Duangjia's reputation? Trak Fong Quan said slowly, as long as you two keep your mouth shut forever, there will be no more problems. Suddenly Trak Fong Quan's hand that condensed his energy shook slightly. The wind was extremely sharp, tightly on the arm of the man holding the box. The arm immediately flew out, as did the box underneath. Trak Fong Quan slowly brought the box towards his hand. He couldn't help but laugh. It's true that when offered alcohol, if you don't like to drink, you'll be punished. Just as the box was about to fall into his hands, two yellow hands gently grabbed the box from the air. The corner of the male lead's mouth, who was standing in the dark, lifted up a bit. Trak Fong Quan still didn't understand the meaning. What? The box was in front of me, but I didn't expect it to disappear in the blink of an eye. He couldn't help but be disrespectful. The other two people of Duangjia also couldn't believe their eyes. Where was the box? Where did it go? Trak Fong Quan's face changed slightly. He is a master at the title level. Young lady is careful. Immediately he summoned the lower level 9 evil shadow beast Tula. Go get the box back. As soon as it was summoned, the evil shadow beast Tula sped away at high speed, immediately chasing after the treasure box and disappearing. Tabin hid in the darkness and smiled. Come here, black dragon dog. Increase the dragon armor for the hell bamboo dragon beast. Want it to release its lava armor, harden its ice shell and fire jacket. On the bamboo dragon beast's body a dragon cave will appear. Following Tabin's orders, its ability will be doubled. Defensively attacked the evil shadow beast Tula. Trak Fong Quan looked at the incident with an incredulous expression. Tula's evil shadow beast was suppressed again. Trak Fong Quan waved his hand violently, opening up 2 summoning spaces, and the wind demon behind him reminded it to slow down. He could control the guide's star pet. With one move, immeasurable power, you just attack like that. Staring at his plan, Trak Fong Quan glanced back. So what to do? Can't let him run away. Tui Fong Ma is all right now. The man's energy was flowing. Rest assured, don't let it escape. Watching the rich man force him out, as soon as he finished speaking, his energy as big as a small mountain suddenly condensed and formed. Attacked directly towards Tabin's hiding place. Seeing this, Tabin did not panic at all. His subordinates had put enough force into the small skeleton, just waiting to strike. As soon as the giant was a few meters away from Tabin, it emitted a blade of fan-themed demonic energy, directly splitting that hand of energy. At this point, Tabin had no intention of hiding it anymore. He held the treasure box in his hand and stood between the little bone and the bamboo dragon beast, smiling. Was defeated so quickly? Then what business could he do with the undead fruit? Trak Fong Quan immediately recognized Tabin. Fong Ma's face was also a bit solemn at this time. He had already achieved the title at such a young age, leaving him behind. It will definitely cause disaster. Kill without mercy. At this time Trak Fong Quan just wants to be a little angry, for the pet beast that is being chewed by the bamboo dragon beast. Cold light shoots out in all directions. 2 lines suddenly open next to him. Summoned, at Dang Long Dai let people run. Now let's see which way people run. Stormed by the Spirit King. Hell came out. La Beast went into battle, but he only got so far. His figure quietly did not rise. The sound, like a ghost, instantly appeared before Trak Fong Quan's eyes. Cold sweat instantly poured out of his whole body. When he realized what the black shadow in front of him was, he immediately felt a strong fear. And at the same time, the black bone peach in his hand was surrounded by dark energy, like a magic knife suddenly appearing. Wanting to aim at Trak Fong Quan, quickly cutting it into a few plates, the wind demon on the side sensitively pushed it down. Duong Nhu Yen, after killing Trak Fong Quan, that dark knife energy still did not stop, flying straight into the air, and wherever the dark knife energy went, it was cut into two halves. At this time, Duong Nhu Yen's heart was shocked. I can't stop fever, what the hell is that, Grandma? The destructive power is too much, and it was created by a small skeleton, and the wind demon is extremely scared, but he can't get rid of it anymore. He shouted angrily. Dare to hurt my lady, go away. He transformed his energy into 4 large swords, which in an instant split into countless swords of smaller size. Countless swords aimed at Tabin, wanting to turn him into a dragon mist tree. The male lead didn't even bother to raise an eyebrow. His whole body's energy circulated. His right hand became a fist, gathering his energy there, at Dang Long. Radio hasn't had a chance to take advantage of that trick yet, so let's try and see what this little thing is like. Following Tabin's actions, the shocking demonic fist was unleashed. On his body, a giant illusory image appeared like a divine fist. The demon world was also startled. What strange boxing technique is that? This is divine. At this moment, Tabin shouted loudly, only to see his right arm swing out. His energy was compressed into the shape of a clenched fist, as if he wanted to punch him a few times, but there was still an emanating sound there. Golden essence, wherever the punch came, the wind demon's long sword fist was broken. The wind demon suddenly felt something was wrong when he saw this. The energy in his hand gathered, and in the next second, he released a 9-layer star shield and a golden giant. The punch instantly tore through 9 layers of crystals, creating a huge hole on each layer it passed through. It's amazing that a title-level person could take this punch and not die on the spot. The wind demon in his hand quickly opened the summoning space. This little thief's strength is not small. Fong Ma commanded Long Truck Vong to take Tu and run away. As soon as he appeared, he immediately opened his mouth and swallowed Duong Nhu Yen, then immediately burrowed into the ground and used earth release. To escape, Tabin Ha laughed. Do you want to run away, dark dragon dog? Dig that girl up for me. Fong Demon is determined not to let Tabin easily approach his lady. The body began to slowly dissipate, turned into a group of black energy. Little thief. This time I won. This time the wind demon directly used the Tang family's secret technique. This is not the 3 great secret techniques of the Duong family, but it is also an extremely secret technique. The profound, spiritual power of the wind demon, transforming from the body and then merging into one. This is clearly a secret technique of the spiritual system, capturing the soul and taking the soul. Duong Nhu Yen, hiding in the Dragon Bamboo King, was also shocked. Capturing the soul to take over the owner's body, exchanging the body of another person, that was a last resort move. He was able to force Old Fong to this extent. At this time the Fong demon directly attacked. Attack Tabin, take his life. A group of pet beasts, without waiting for Tabin's instructions, rushed towards the wind demon. He passed through the pet beast, smiling proudly. You think physical attacks can stop me? Why, you little thief should regret opposing Duong Jia. The ghost walked up to Tabin like he was angry. Even if the old man was crushed to pieces, he would still have to pull you down and make you drink alcohol. He hasn't yet. Having finished speaking, Tabin suddenly took out the soul-shaking lamp he had just obtained and brought it out. The wind demon arrogantly rushed towards him, then crashed into a defensive screen blocking the way, letting out a scream of pain. Why couldn't he touch him? Could it be that he has a spiritual defense secret treasure? He's a ghost. Looking at Tabin strangely, he recognized his proud face, holding a soul lamp in his hand. Faced with the attack of the wind demon using Duong Jia's secret technique, Tabin used the soul lamp to easily neutralize it. Next, he relied on the dog to find Duong Nhu Yen being protected in the mouth of King Long Truck. The beast subconsciously sensed that the Master Fong demon was dead, so he uncontrollably wanted to swallow Duong Yen into his stomach. She kicked him, causing him pain, forcing him to open his mouth. What's going on? Why did the bamboo dragon beast want to swallow me whole? She quickly opened the space and ordered me out of here. Immediately afterwards, on the ground not far from Tabin, the pet beast summoned by Duong Nhuyen tore its mouth open. Of the bamboo dragon beast, his hand still restraining its head, Tabin's face was indifferent. The young lady finally agreed to come out. Duong Nhuyen sat on the body of Truck Duck Vong, average level 9 combat power, looking at it. Resembles a human shape with 2 large wings. The whole body is surrounded by dark demonic energy, and in its hand is Hu Hong's ancient sword, which cannot dispel the gloomy feeling it brings. Seeing Tabin, Duong Nhuyen shouted loudly, "Don't call me young master." Suddenly, Duong Nhuyen was startled because he couldn't feel Old Fong's aura anymore. Even level 9 Old Fong could not survive. Immediately, Duong Nhuyen looked into the distance and saw only the clothes Fong Ma wore before. She felt like she had been thrown a basin of ice water, feeling the cold air spreading from her top head to the soles of his feet. Duong Nhuyen took a deep breath and asked who you are. Why are you pursuing our Duong family? Tabin looked at her indifferently. And you guys, why did you kill them? As soon as Duong Nhuyen heard it, he was a little speechless. After all, it was they who came out first. She blinked her long eyelashes and spoke. The big fish swallowed the small fish, that's all. Or do you think we kill everyone we meet? Just like you war pet masters who kill people arbitrarily or something? As soon as Tabin heard it, he couldn't help but laugh. You guys are just a fish on my chopping board right now. As soon as he finished speaking, the demon energy from the little bone standing next to him immediately flowed out. The Marrow King's illusory image appeared again. The falling winged king, feeling the oppression of the royal bloodline, immediately closed his wings. His whole body tensed up in defense. A crashing scream came out of his mouth. Duong Nhuyen also was shocked. Level 9 falling winged king did not expect to tremble like that before the little skeleton's aura. She immediately gritted her teeth and said, "What do you want? As long as you are willing to let me go. What are your demands?" Our family also accepted, and Tabin's finger moved slightly. This little lady, if you want to ask for forgiveness, at least show me your sincerity. Duong Nhuyen glanced at Truck Duck Vong suspiciously and said, "What do you want to do?" Tabin greeted sarcastically and said, "I want you to cancel the contract with King Falling Wing." When Duong Nhuyen heard that, he was secretly angry. He wanted me to release the contract. After the battle pet master released the pet contract, he would enter a weak state. Is this because he wants to kill me to the end? Duong Nhuyen took a deep breath, then jumped down to stand in front of Tabin, only to see her smiling slowly, comfortably complying with Tabin's request. Immediately after that, her right hand gently inserted into the back of her skirt. Looking from the front, it looked like she wanted to lift her skirt, showing off her beastly body to attract attention, but in fact, one hand was opening the summoning space behind her. The next string summoned the Wind and Pepper Village. Stretching his hands forward, signaling to attack Tabin, their claws had not yet touched the air around him, but the small bone quickly slashed out with a knife. Duong Nhuyen's sudden counterattack, he didn't bother to do anything. Duong Nhuyen saw his pet's front limbs cut off, and he felt both anger and despair in his heart. Unable to help but secretly scold an angry voice, Tabin looked at Duong Nhuyen with a desperate expression, suddenly turned his hand, took an object from the storage space. It was the secret treasure painting at the bottom of the lake that day. If you want that, then I have to help. In a flash, I saw the figure of a small bone rushing forward, and with one sword, I neatly killed 2 level 9 beasts. Tabin suddenly snatched the painting from her hand. As soon as Duong Nhuyen saw the yellow inside the page open, she was sucked into another dimension. She landed in the space of the secret treasure. Looking around for a while, I realized that this was a space system's secret treasure. At this moment, Tabin's thoughts entered the painting. His mumbling face appeared from the sky. It's so spacious in here. Why don't you kill me? When questioned by Duong Nhuyen, Tabin just looked and laughed. If you want to die, of course you can, but you have to get something from someone first. Duong Nhuyen looked at the mark on Tabin and cried out in surprise. On the boring person is the transfer mark. Immediately after that, she doubled over and laughed like crazy. It turns out that the person who broke through the 9th level that day was you. Then I laughed nonstop, laughing until tears came to my eyes. A moment later she wiped her eyelids and looked up at him. You're dead and you still don't know? You will become the awakened legendary lord. Su Bin raised his voice suspiciously and asked to speak human language. She's stubborn and stubborn, what's the point of talking when she's about to be killed? In my hands, you still dare to threaten me. If you don't say anything, I will let you die in a strange position. Then take pictures and broadcast them across the continent. Zhuang Nhuyen didn't know what to imagine, but her face turned red. I thought cursing him was a vile and perverted bastard. Then she also explained. Nguyen Thien then is a legendary level battle pet master. He originally wanted to inherit Long Cot and give it to his granddaughter. Therefore, everyone who can take away the inheritance will be logged out of this Seville by him. She paused for a moment and then continued. Our 4 great families have promised Lord Nguyen. Even if you are lucky enough to pass the 9th floor, you will still voluntarily cancel your inheritance status. But no one ever really thought about that. Because the 9-story Long Cot Tower is not something you can just say what you want. After understanding the truth of the matter, Tu Bin Lin immediately took back the painting, and it turned out that the entire secret scene was understood by that person. The vice-chancellor once said that the federal government had sealed off the reclamation area for security reasons. It turned out to be just a cover for the former theme than to monopolize the secret realm. There is also a painting of the great On Fong family. Just like other colonists, we can only pick up leftovers. He brought several bodies together. Signaled the bamboo dragon beast to erase all traces. Even though I defeated the VIP Pro Super Gunmaster, I still had to revive 774 several times to be able to do it. This encounter with the strongest legend cannot be underestimated. His eyes suddenly became sharp. Although no one witnessed the incident of breaking through the Dragonbone Tower, Nguyen Thien then really wanted to investigate. It's just a matter of time. The urgent thing is to find a way to bring the pet store to level 3. At least we can protect my mother and sister. Don't come so they can get involved because of you. After completing the matter, Tu Bin immediately returned to the store. When the students saw Tu Bin appear, they shouted loudly, Boss Tu has returned. This time I want to raise 5 children. Others spoke up and said they wanted to raise 7 children. Tu Bin heard that and quickly waved his hand. Everyone lined up, everyone had a part. In his heart, he secretly thought that everything was still going well so far. At the end of the day, the system displays a notification. Today's balance change at the store. The remaining energy is more than 11,000 points. Tu Bin thought to himself, currently, the store's daily revenue is about 10,000. It takes about 10 days to upgrade. Then he opened his watch. I also plan to buy land during this time. See how much to calculate in advance. Tu Bin this time opened a private service network. As long as you have money, there will be people to serve you. Any request. After Tu Bin joined, he saw the image of the secretary appear asking for his request. I want to expand my store and need to buy more land. I have clearly written the store address. How much space do you need? Tu Bin calmly gave the number 3,000 square meters. Customer service will answer the statistics based on your price. About 200 million in deposit, about 100 million Vietnamese dongs remaining. Payment can be made upon land delivery. Tu Bin was a bit surprised. Need 300 million. Since when did the price double? The secretary explained. Because the global elite tournament is about to start. So prices increase accordingly. Real estate is also more difficult to buy than usual. Tu Bin suddenly fell into deep thought. Coincidentally, price increased again at this time. Suddenly he remembered that level beast trap ring. In my hand I have a VM land blood spear. He immediately asked, how much could a top level 9 ferocious beast sell for? This secretary expressed her surprise, typing furiously on the keyboard to calculate the answer. The market price of a top level 9-star pet on the market is about 400 million star coins. The price of a ferocious beast is much lower, but nonetheless your child is also a rare item that is hard to find on the market. There is someone willing to pay 250 million, do you want to sell it? Wait a little longer and the price will increase. As soon as Tabin heard, he immediately spoke. Sell now, proceed immediately. The land deposit will be paid with the money from the sale of the beast. Then he turned off the phone. He thought silently in his heart. 250 million plus 60 million in hand. These past few days, I've been trying to increase my strength a little more. He asked the system if he wanted to scan out a training place that was more difficult than Dragon King Transference. The places that cultivate gods at the level require 10,000 energy to enter. High-class places also have 1,000 points. Tabin looked at the towering entrance ticket and was startled. The ticket to the highest divine realm costs 10,000. Even if you are past the beginner stage, you can recover 10% each time you enter. But each revival requires payment. Buy a ticket to enter the magical area and you'll be revived if you run out of money. He looked at the list for a while and decided to choose the demigod, which cost 1,000 points to enter. Kim O's demonic body needs the heart of the beast god to be used as a material for cultivating the second level. Divine Inflammation Beast of Fire attribute. Who knows, maybe I can find it here, if Kim O's divine body can be cultivated to level 2. When the defense has reached level 9, the ability to log in will be much reduced. Tabin was teleported by the system, entering the semi-divine paradise that looks like a garden. He originally thought that this was an ancient dark battlefield. Unexpectedly, this scene was extremely beautiful. Like escaping from a fairyland. There are traces of civilized society. Right now, the system prompted him. In the place where the construction gods want to buy the divine language translation function. For 500 energy points, he was surprised to see the new function. If we can communicate, of course many senseless deaths will be avoided. Decided to purchase the translation capability. The display system is installing the function. Suddenly, a sound of water splashing nearby caught his attention. He turned his head and looked right above the lake. A blonde fairy was controlling the water flow around her, humming a song in divine language. At this time, the interpreter installation was also completed at the same time. Tabin saw this hot scene for the first time. He instantly froze for 5 seconds. The fairy who was controlling the water suddenly realized there were living things around. Thought it was insects lurking around here. Immediately disgusted, he attacked the place where the noise came from. Seeing this, Tabin felt something was wrong. Immediately opened 2 summoning spaces in his hand, calling Tiukat and Bamboo Dragon Beast to form a defense formation. From countless battles, protecting Tabin has become the pet's instinct. But facing the fairy's energy, both were easily cut in half and immediately died. Seeing this, Tabin's expression suddenly became serious. Tiukat is not the type of pet that is just used as a pet. Can't kill it that easily. He recited in his mouth, undead demon fruit, immune to fatal damage. Tiukat began to restructure in seconds, combining with his own regeneration ability. Restoring his body back to its original state, the moment the golden light was about to reach Tabin, it was deflected by the bone peach thrown from Tiukolao's hand. Tabin escaped the attack and quickly revived the bamboo dragon beast. He cried out in pain, "Listen to me. I don't have any ill will." He doesn't have much energy to revive. It's not a good idea to fight at this time. The blonde fairy waved her hand on the clothes that had appeared on her body, impatiently cutting off his words. "I know what you want to say. I know you teleported from another world." When Tabin heard that, he did not hide his surprise. "How do you know?" Goddess said indifferently. "Your small body and face are almost like ours. You are simply a low-level human race. This is the territory of the god race. Supreme energy covers. If it wasn't for being transported by an outside force, how could I get in here?" Tabin pointed at himself and asked again. "I'm a human, but aren't you surprised?" Goddess expressed disinterest. The combination of gods and humans. Creating subhumans here is no surprise. Even our god race doesn't know which planet you come from. Tabin rubbed his chin and understood the problem. It turned out that way. I didn't expect that someone had already set foot here. Even established contact with the god race. Why have I never heard of this? The goddess looked at Tabin and thought, this country guy is just a small fry. But his pets are all from the sea realm. He can also restore his pet beast whenever he wants. The strangest thing is, there is still a strange trace of unknown origin in his bloodline. But it makes people afraid. Maybe it's not human race. Or was there someone else behind him? Suddenly the goddess in her hand summoned a fist. Stop talking nonsense. What is the purpose of coming to the divine land? Whoever has your back should quickly summon him. The little nation was still drooling happily while looking at the goddess. Now armed, ready to protect its owner. She said, this is the central land. Isn't this place a semi-god or earth star? Hearing that, the goddess immediately appeared unhappy, suddenly brandishing a divine light. Directly assassinated master and servant Tabin at the same time. The male protagonist pondered in space waiting for resurrection. Her expression was due to her refusal to accept the half-god or the earth. Su Bin clicked and randomly chose to come back to life. The purpose of this trip is to increase strength. Don't worry about her anymore. Quickly go somewhere else to see. After reducing energy by 500, the familiar feeling of revival appeared. Tabin's vision also gradually recovered. He was brought to a desert. As soon as I set foot down, I felt the bottom sinking. It was clear that something was unusual, right from the door in front of Tabin. Suddenly countless small sharp teeth appeared. Then a mouth as big as a lake appeared, wanting to grab him. So he accidentally landed on the desert monster's mouth. He jumped out to avoid the bite, but the monster still clung on and wouldn't let go. The energy condensed onto Bin's body, gradually forming a demon-suppressing divine fist. Punch the monster in the mouth without missing a beat. The desert monster's teeth were punched and broken. Let out an angry howl. That huge divine form moved crazily. Tabin saw that his attack could send a level 9 ferocious beast to the land of bliss in one move. Yet I could only hit a few of the monster's teeth. He felt a bit unreasonable. Then he used the appraisal technique to determine that he was an unlucky evil race, with top level 9 combat power and poor aptitude. Tabin saw this and quickly summoned his fierce general. The exclamation is truly the domain of the gods. They have already met level 9. Tabin directly strengthened his killing intent. Then the commander, the Black Heart Dog, protected the bamboo dragon beast. The bamboo dragon beast used the purgatory dragon flame on the little dry tower. Hell's bamboo dragon beast's entire body is covered with 7 colored shields. Put his back out to help. And strongly touched the other clan beam. The moment the two sides touched, the bone blade with the addition of the purgatory dragon flame slashed. This group of animals roared loudly. Once again Tabin ordered Tiu Kot and Long Kuyan to overcome the river. Continue to attack the spot just now. At this moment, the evil insect's eyes flashed purple light. As soon as its eyes touched Tabin's pet beast, in an instant it became a stone statue. It quickly opened its mouth and bit into the dark dragon dog that had transformed into a statue, immediately breaking into pieces and falling to the left below. Thanks to the undead demon fruit's immunity to fatal wounds, the little bone completed its restructuring in an instant. It raised the bone knife in its hand and fiercely aimed it straight at Chum Monster's eyes. Seeing that, Tabin smiled slightly. Each time the urinal is revived, it returns to its best state, bringing extremely high combat effectiveness. Tabin ordered Tiu Kot to aim at the monster's eye and stab it. At the same time, resurrect the dark dragon dog. Look at the evil insect that is still screaming in pain. Tabin still did not relax his vigilance and called out the hellish bamboo dragon beast. Taking advantage of the evil insect's injured eye to attack, Tabin shouted loudly. Hell bless the beast, use fire to burn it for me. Tabin aimed at the evil insect and kicked, combining with the extremely hot fire of purgatory. Burn the evil worm into dried ink and 2 suns. Seeing the evil worm, his whole body crumbled and fell down. Dark Dragon Dog keenly discovered the pile of rotten meat. A sparkling object appeared. He took it in his mouth and ran to find it and gave it to Tabin. It is a divine crystal, an energy crystal created after the divine race devoured the evil clan. Having strong divinity and pet beasts can transform into divine beasts. Divine beast transformation? Can you speak clearlier? The system responds. The overall level will be directly raised, including longevity and physical fitness. At the same time, it has the ability to overcome demon-type star pets and immortal beasts. Also has the ability to master divine skills. The system prompts again. It also has the power to upgrade common skills by 50 times. Tabin couldn't help but be surprised. Is it that expensive? He held the divine crystal and spoke to the dark dragon dog. Great. Another way to strengthen your strength. If you find this piece of divine crystal, please reward it. The little skeleton standing next to him was drooling, clearly showing his admiration. Seeing this, Tabin couldn't help but speak up. You have the noble blood of the Void Spirit King. Pay attention to the picture for me. Immediately Tabin looked at the dark dog and said, learn more moves from the bamboo dragon beast hell. What spirit comes next? After swallowing the stone, the dark dragon dog suddenly emitted golden light. Strongly let out a long scream. Divine Beast level 6 lower. Divinity 1/10, Fighting Power level 8, superior. Tabin thought back and forth. The data hasn't changed much. It's just one more point of deification. Is there anything else that needs to be added to transform a beast? Find more monsters to kill. At this moment, suddenly there was a cry for help, interrupting Tabin's thoughts. He was a little suspicious that the sound came from underground. Tabin looked towards the direction the sound came from. Saw two guys with large bodies. Are they all divine people? One person is from the Divine Wind Team 5. It's the practice team, student level. With a panicked look on his face, he shouted to save his life. Right at this moment, the two worms opened their mouths full of sharp teeth. Lao swiped towards the intern. That trainee condensed his energy again crazily. Create a shield. He panicked and shouted, don't eat me. Just as the worm's teeth were about to bite into his old shield. Suddenly, a golden block appeared in a fist. One punch broke both of their jaws. It was Tabin who had just used the magic shaking divine power. Standing on the bamboo dragon beast hell, observing all four directions. The bamboo dragon beast flapped its wings, leading to four winds rising like a storm. The other intern team member saw that and was also shocked. As a brave warrior of the human race, the bamboo dragon beast followed its master's command and flew down, raising its legs. The two gods quickly grabbed it and jumped up. The insect monster saw that the prey was about to run away and wanted to open its big mouth and smash it down and swallow it whole. But they are not so lucky. Hell bamboo dragon beast suddenly accelerated. Escape from the jaws of death. The worm dived into the air and crashed straight into the cliff. Tabin's face was calm. Leaving with the two deities, the deities saw that they had escaped death and immediately thanked him. Tabin said to save you. I'm just letting you guys lead the way here. Immediately he asked, what are you guys doing here? Why are you stuck in this dangerous place? Evil insects in the sky continuously invade our territory. We are the ones responsible there. Just now, our team was hit by a mid-level monster. The two people died in battle. Tabin looked at several deep holes on the ground. Are you guys going to deal with those ruins? That god clan nodded. That's right, but why did people of the human race appear here? Tabin gave a formal answer. Nothing special. Just happened to pass by. In his heart, he secretly thought that the gods didn't know if the blue crystal had crystal cracks. On the contrary, they were still relatively unlucky, being targeted by evil clans. Tabin asked again, don't the gods have wings? If you can't beat those insects, just fly away. The crewcut guy heard Tabin say that and his enthusiasm boiled over. He clasped his hands tightly in front of his chest, his eyes showing determination. You can't use divine wings just to escape. Sacrifice is our honor. The other teenager seemed more honest. In the entire divine world, only pure-blooded gods have divine wings. Furthermore, the cultivation methods we semi-gods practice are completely different from yours. It's not like you can fly if you want to fly. As soon as Tabin heard it, he stopped. He recalled the winged goddess who controlled water. Silently terrified. No wonder there is such a big difference in strength. If compared in terms of qualifications, her qualifications are probably much greater than that of the little dry skull. I really want this bait to be my pet. Tabin asked again, do you know anything about semi-gods asking questions? The other intern also looked suspicious. Where is that? We grew up on the periphery. Never heard about it. On the contrary, the young man was very excited. But in our divine world, there is a legend about the high intelligence of the divine realm. Do you want to hear? Only fools believe in the existence of a divine realm. What is the birthplace of the blood god? One day of cultivating there is equivalent to 1 year of cultivating outside. That is the illusion of the weak. Tabin recalled the system's god-level training points. Even if you have the same name, you still have to pay 10,000 points to buy a ticket. But listening to them talk like it doesn't exist. 1 ticket to Foster, the other intern said, unconvinced. But after all these years, aren't the pure-blooded gods of the Central Land, in order to completely destroy the evil race, still trying to find traces of the divine wisdom? If only I could practice in there, just for a while. When the official team member heard that, his face suddenly darkened. Yes, after all these years, have you found it yet? Are there any traces? Instead of hoping for that, it's better to hone your own fighting skills. Right now, so much colored energy was like arrows that the Hell Dragon Beast was caught unawares and was passed through. Because of that, everyone was dropped to the ground. The 3 landed right below, and the weak teenager fell face down. The blonde man, after looking around, gritted his teeth and said, "They chased us all the way here." The young man suddenly let out a cry of surprise. When we arrived, we saw countless huge insect monsters appearing behind everyone. Leading the way is the leader of the insect race. They have 2 giant star legs. Being able to stand up on his own, the teenager saw that and immediately fell limp to the ground. No matter how we kill these animals, we will die here. The golden light on the blonde man's body flashed, suddenly moving towards the monster. In his hand appeared a yellow trident. He resolutely walked towards the group of insects, telling everyone to go quickly. My moment of glory has come. Tabin saw this and smiled slightly. This god clan is very kind, but I have already targeted their god crystals. Tabin wants to get more god crystals. Immediately summon them. Exchange the 2 spaces behind me. The little bone and the dark dragon dog slowly walked out from inside. And the hell bamboo dragon beast was also revived next to it. Tabin shouted with all his energy. Haven't you guys seen the Supreme Divine Realm yet? If you die like that, you can't be satisfied. That blonde man's aura was radiated by Tabin. Make the whole business. What's up? A low-level human warrior. I didn't expect it to burst out with such great power. Tabin opened his mouth again and left. I just saw an unquestionable look in his eyes. The whole person radiated an intimidating aura. The soldiers of the Divine Clan heard his determination and held their fists in both hands. I didn't expect that the human race would have such heroes. Hundreds of things are thanks to you. Carved Tabin's face deep into his heart and quickly walked away. Tabin looked at these crawling bugs with great nostalgia. He recalled the first time he entered the training area. Experience with Loi Kwang Tu. Feeling of blood boiling. The whole body's potential is forced to explode because of life and death. But it is also something we want to have. Tabin didn't think much anymore. Smiling, he squatted down to gain strength. Suddenly he shouted loudly, "Let's go up. Definitely rush into the insects." Su Bin's entire body was filled with energy. Theocracy is ready. He shouted that we were going to play big. The pets also agreed. The whole person emitted different types of energy to fight the insect race. After a while, Tabin only had more than 500 energy points left. Located in the revival space. Open your mouth and breathe. He said to himself, there was only enough energy left to revive one last time. I didn't expect that flood to be so strong. The 9 revivals were all used up. Even though he and his pet beasts had killed them all, there were many subordinate worms. Also beat the leader until he was covered in injuries. But the higher the level of the monster, the more difficult it is to overcome. Tabin looked at the space storage. Fortunately, we brought back quite a few divine crystals. This is not too bad. The time to explore is coming soon. There's no point in fighting it anymore. In fact, it probably won't be possible to fight it again. Tabin rearranged his thoughts and chose to revive at a random point. And at that time in a place far away from where Tabin fought. The tiger has white fur but is being pampered. Like a cat, that blonde goddess just teased her little mother. While rubbing and tickling its body, it makes it roll around comfortably. Tabin suddenly appeared in the void. Cut off the sweetness of the goddess. Both of them looked at each other clearly. But that little girl has a gloomy face. Prepare to jump out and tear apart this unconscious human being. Tabin's pale face still dared to say hello. Coincidentally, the goddess was seen by others playing with pets. After a moment of awkwardness, he gritted his teeth and said, "You thick-faced guy." As he spoke, he saw divine light flash, divine wings and weapons reappeared in his hands. And that great white tiger's body also exuded golden aura. Looking at Tabin with extreme caution. "What is the intention of the goddess shouting at you?" Tabin smiled bitterly. "It's just a misunderstanding. I am not your opponent. Can you not be so cautious? Accidentally resurrecting to this place is too arbitrary. There's even no time to summon small bones." The goddess angrily looked at Tabin. "Isn't it the opponent of this god? So why were you apparently stabbed by my holy spear? You can still stand here safely. If there is even half a lie, I will throw you into the realm of 10,000 sins and experience the pain of life worse than death." Tabin faced the goddess's holy spear placed on her neck. "Tell yourself you can't die again because you run out of points to revive. Must think of another way. I know how to reach the divine realm." Hearing what he said, the goddess couldn't help but open her eyes wide. "Are you talking about high intelligence in the divine realm? Many gods dream of wanting to reach that land. If they can set foot there, the evil people will only have a belt left." But despite spending a lot of resources searching for many years, there was no progress. How does the human race know the location? She had so many thoughts in her head, but on the outside she coldly examined them. Say there is no evidence. How do people get there? Tabin saw that she really cared about what he had to say. "I couldn't help but smile and gently push the holy spear on my neck aside. It doesn't matter how I get there. But people know that I can enter the central divine land at will. And you can't kill me either. Just by these two things. You probably understand that I'm the type of person who can't just talk." When the goddess heard this, her face became extremely gloomy and she also retracted the holy spear. "What happened last time has been proven," Tabin secretly rejoiced. Just add a little more fuel to the fire, he suddenly turned around and said. "I'll get out of here right away. Those who are highly intelligent in the divine realm should slowly search for it." The goddess raised her eyebrows and said, "What do people want? Power, money or territory?" Tabin answered but did not turn back. "Of course it's strength. No strength. More money and territory can only be left for people to plunder." The goddess without hesitation said no problem. She held out her hand, and a gold-plated book appeared in her hand. The goddess directly gave the secret technique to Tabin. It is a highly intelligent divine art that transforms the human race to practice. Divine Origin Technique permanently enhances all of a person's skills after being practiced. Magic, speed, and enlightenment also increase. Tabin looked at the secret book in his hand and was secretly happy. Can speed be increased? Look, but it's not really bad. He wanted to open the secret book to see what was inside. Suddenly, a thunder shield appeared from within, and in an instant, his whole body was so shocked that he had to let go of his fist. The goddess saw this and smiled sinisterly. "I have temporarily sealed this secret. I just need to enter the realm of high wisdom. I will unlock it for you." Tabin was not stubborn and conveniently put the secret book in the storage room. "Okay, but before reaching the supreme divine realm, to avoid getting lost in the chaos of time and space, I need to draw a spell on the person to determine the direction." "No problem." The goddess squinted her eyes slightly and accepted. He looked up at the larger-sized goddess. "I don't bring a ladder. Can you sit down?" The goddess wasted no time. Sitting directly next to Tabin. "Draw it." Tabin laughed heartily. He thought silently in his heart. "System, oh system. Can I use the pet beast contract to control her?" At the same time, the red essence in his hand slowly flew towards the goddess. The system displays the answer. The pet contract applies to everything. Goddess is no exception. On the goddess's forehead, it gradually condensed into a red seal. Is this a contract to enslave the human race's pet beasts? This god really looks down on you. See the enemy's self-transfer the spell. Use your stick to hit your back, ha ha ha. Her fingers quickly slid behind her back to form a seal. Completely opposite of Tabin's signature. Very quickly the goddess finished at the same time Tabin shouted. "Contract completed. Red chains flew from him towards the place where the new pet should be. But surprisingly, the old woman was surrounded by a golden membrane from his chain. The goddess also revealed a mysterious smile on her face. Immediately execute the reverse contract. From behind her appeared a golden chain. Aim to turn Tabin into a pet. Tabin did not expect things to change like this. Can this contract be reversed? The goddess looked calmly at him. Waiting for you to become my god's pet. Then tell me all the secrets. But as soon as the golden chains touched the male protagonist, they suddenly froze right in the air. The goddess felt her scalp numb. Time stopped right at that moment. Then immediately the goddess's chain contract shattered into many pieces. She couldn't believe it and looked forward, wanting to see what this was all about. Her anger appeared in the space in front of her, causing her to panic. What the hell? Before she realized what she had just seen, something like a hammer suddenly hit her subconsciously. She fell to the ground beneath her feet as if she was being held down by some force. The terrible pressure makes the body unable to move as desired. The eyes in the void just now were still tightly closed. Now he opened his eyes and looked straight at her. There were 6 pupils in his eyes. The breath escaping from there made her kneel on the ground. Is this the power hidden in that person's bloodline? Or is this existence more terrible than can be imagined? Suddenly time started going back. Tabin did not understand what had just happened. He looked at the goddess kneeling on the ground and thought, what's going on? It was clear that her contract had been reversed. Why did the person who was pressured turn into her now? Tabin suddenly remembered. Lean asked what the system did. The system hasn't taken action yet? Is it because the goddess's power violated the language barrier and was countered? Tabin feels scared? Is it just a backlash? But she was clearly very shaken. The system and pet contracts seem to be unusable. Is there any other way to win her over? The system gave him a scroll. It is also said that for people with high intelligence, they can sign employment contracts. Accepting them as store employees, Tabin also wanted to gasp. I thought I could only win over anyone, but I thought I could sign a contract. This girl is really interesting. Tabin coughed lightly. Open the contract in your hand for the goddess to see. It was just a survey. Congratulations to the person who overcame the challenge. This is the official contract. Please read. The goddess reads the words on it. Clause 1. Protect and obey the shop owner. Clause 2. Maintain the store's reputation. Clause 3. Take the opportunity to improve the store's quality. Employee benefits, 7-day tour. Contract has a term of 1 year. Tabin smacked his lips, seeing the benefits of good employees. It's a 7-day trip. I'm not trying to trick you. She recognized the domineering aura from this contract. If you sign with your hand, you cannot disobey it. But why'd I have to be your employee for a year? The male lead smiled calmly. If you don't sign, I'll leave. If you lose it, don't be sorry. The goddess frowned and thought. This human is very cunning. Not a single word is trustworthy. But the person behind him can commit to doing the right thing. Thinking so, the goddess bit her finger and said, for the future of the entire god clan, I agree to try once. If you dare to turn your back, you will have to pay 1,000 times more. God, the woman used her golden blood to sign her name below, and the system displayed the store staff information. Name is Anna but not from Bak Jiang. Attributes to pure blood goddess, urgent self-god. The fighting power of the divine realm. Currently have 100 employee points, reaching 200 points to become an elite employee. Below 60 points will be converted into a pet. After reading Tabin, he couldn't help but exclaim. Can you see other people's scores? The power of this store is really great. But what is Iron 2 then and Fong then realm? The system explained the terminology to him. On Lam Tin, there is the dimensional sea realm, the virtual cave realm, and the heavenly destiny realm, which belong to the legendary trio realm. The higher level of these 3 realms is the wind god realm. Only the strong are capable of it. Only the ability to rotate the universe can travel between these places. Su Bin was instantly stunned. So strong. No wonder the pet contract couldn't do anything to her. It turned out to be due to the big difference in class. Like that. But on the contrary, the system can easily suppress the goddess of the wind and god realm. In the end, what is the origin of this system? The system appeared to mock him. why don't you respect me quickly? System reminder. The time to connect with the demigod is about to end. Going back to the store. The familiar feeling of time shifting appears. When Tabin opened his eyes again, he had returned to the mischievous pet shop. The goddess asked if this was your territory? Tabin looked at Anna's change in size and asked, why is the human body so small? Only 1 square meter, Anna said contemptuously. The deity's attitude is not compatible with your world, so you should change your opinion. Tabin said unhappily. The problem is that she just looks like a teenage girl. In our world, this is child exploitation, it is illegal. Anna doesn't care about him. Why worry? This god has lived for thousands of years already. Tabin didn't care, turned around and said, preparing to open the door to welcome guests. Anna still didn't understand what guests to welcome. Now that she looked around, everything could be seen no matter how many walls away. New employee Anna and shop owner Tabin have just returned. Lean discovered that there were many suspicious people outside the store. Tabin was a bit startled. Could it be that he was from Nguyen Thien Than? So fast? Tabin called Lee Tan Nhu and thought to himself. You underestimated the legend, only now did you find a way to bring your mother and sister over. Even though it would be a little troublesome to enter the cultivation area if they were around, but now there's not much to worry about. When the contact was connected, the screen showed a strange man picking up the phone. Tabin panicked and asked who he was, but the other man said it himself. Tabin, an ordinary person, has just awakened as a battle pet master. Senior professor of Fuang Sun Academy, owner of Naughty Pet Shop, right? Tabin thought to himself, the scene in the video is my house. I wonder how their mother and sister are doing. He opened his mouth to ask, what do you want to do? The image on the other side of the video changes. Turning to Lee Tan Nhu and to Lang Nguyen who were leaning against the corner of the wall in a daze. At the same time, the voice of the other man appeared. Lee Tan Nhu's mother, ordinary person, elementary school teacher. His father is Tan Nguyen Sun, an ordinary person, a low-level crew member. To Lang Wei's younger sister, battle pet master, first-year student at Fuang Sun Academy. Tabin saw this and immediately became angry. Ignore me, what do you want to do? But that man spoke frankly. Lord Nguyen wants to see you, as long as you obediently appear. We have no reason to make things difficult for them. Tabin thought to himself, calm down, their target is me. He gritted his teeth and said, I'm in the store. If you want to see me, just come. But you have to take them with you. I want to meet them first. After answering Tabin's request, he hung up the phone. What about meeting? How can you escape from the hands of Lord Nguyen? Just hung up the phone with Tabin. The man dialed the phone number of a mysterious person to report. Lord Nguyen, Tabin's location has been sent to you. But Nguyen Thien then smiled. Okay, I want to see the end. Who would dare to give away the Long Dai Mountain inheritance? Very quickly, many figures appeared in the sky riding the wind. Below, the Fuang Sun students all pointed to the sky and quickly saw that it was a tidal-level powerhouse. The Fuang Sun students standing in front of the Tin Niche pet shop saw many powerhouses landing here and all backed away in fear. This was again. What situation? A group of elders of the 4 great families went to capture the owner of the Tin Niche pet shop. When we arrived, we saw that the shop was as small as a mosquito's eye. Is Nguyen Dai Mistress the owner of this pile of trash? Elder Mu stroked his beard in disbelief. Are you doubting Lord Nguyen's intelligence? The old Chin family's eyes were like a thread, unable to open a word. Will he intervene? Or maybe that little person has good luck. The Tang family concluded indifferently. In any case, if you dare to rob Lord Nguyen, you will only have a game over. Nguyen Thien Angel, who has the strategic sea view, leisurely appeared with a cold voice, opening his mouth and saying, Speed, speed, victory. Don't waste time. The group of students milling about in front of the store recognized the monk. They were all suppressed by the power of the Elders Association. Quickly give way. The old man of the big family slowly walked to the pet shop. Old Mu Jia took the lead and opened his mouth to shout. A few unrelated juniors, get out of here. Elder Mu reached down to the shop's rolling door and wanted to lift it up, not forgetting to mutter that Lord Nguyen is here. Don't get out of here, look at me. Full body muscles. I tried hard to push the door, but strangely enough, the door didn't move even an inch. The atmosphere was quiet. The old man's father, whoever took it, looked suspicious and didn't react at all. Could it be that there is something on this door? High-level defensive formations. At that moment, the loud sound of the door slowly rang out, revealing Tabin's hand clenched into a fist. Behind her is Anna, looking small. He saw a group of powerful people and did not panic at all. His voice was cold, his words were not superfluous. People want it. Have you brought it yet? Dao Tun recognized the young man in front of him. When Duang Jia old man saw him appear, his face did not change. Reach out your hand to grab the core guy in front of you. When you die, you'll still be old. You have no right to discuss conditions with me. Come out here for me. Along with his words, he concentrated his energy into the shape of a hand. Immediately surrounded Tabin. I wanted to pull him in front of me, but that giant hand instantly shattered. Tabin suddenly mentioned my pants. If you have the guts, come in. Old servant Duang Jia instantly coughed a large mouthful of tomato sauce. The 4 old servants saw this and instantly showed absolute caution. Begin to attack. I didn't expect it to be so easy to escape from my level 9 planet. Old servant Tan spoke slowly. Surrounded with no way out. Not only did he not surrender, he also dared to resist. You all go up and arrest him. At this moment, Nguyen Thien then suddenly landed on the ground. He landed with surprising momentum. It was like stepping out from a thunderbolt. 4 old servants saw Nguyen Thien then appear here. Immediately he looked panicked. They rushed to say, Lord Nguyen, please leave it to us. We can still fight. Hearing that, Nguyen Angel slowly nodded his head. Leave it to you guys to find death. This young man's strength is different, not on the same level as you guys. Nguyen Thien then waved his hand and said, calm down. The person you need is here. Immediately, his subordinates brought to Lang Wei mother and child who were in a coma. Tabin saw his loved one. His pupils instantly shrank. Without saying a word, he condensed his energy and shouted angrily, letting go of his dirty hands. As soon as he finished speaking, several hands of energy suddenly appeared. Now he grabbed a few guards and directly pulled Li Tan Nhu and his mother into the store. Seeing that both of their body temperatures were still normal, he couldn't help but secretly breathe a sigh of relief. What happened to them, everyone? What did you do? But Nguyen Thien slowly opened his mouth to speak. After being in a coma for half a day, he was able to wake up. How did he feel when someone else robbed him of something that belonged to him? Tabin helped the mother and child put it aside and ate. Say soap. Is the Dragon Tower inheritance engraved with your name? Or if you like it then we have to give in. When the old servant of the Muck family heard it, he angrily pointed at him and shouted. Do you dare to use this attitude to talk to Lord Nguyen? On the contrary, Nguyen Thien Angel smiled. Animal, hey, is this a young calf that isn't afraid of tigers? You said that as long as you have strength, you naturally have the right to inherit, right? The 4 old men of the 4 great families saw the angel's spirit bursting with spirit. They rushed into the door. The customer raised his voice to warn. Lord Nguyen, we can't go inside the store yet. We don't know his strength yet. This guy is very strange. Be careful, there are experts lurking in the store. Nguyen Angel clasped his hands behind his back. His eyes shined. I am a legendary battle pet master. Only a small city can stop me. He slowly walked inside, came to Tabin and said coldly. What now? Your small shop doesn't seem to be able to stop the legendary level. As long as you obey me like the 4 great families, I won't make things difficult for you. I can also bring you back to train. 4 great elders. Hearing that, I couldn't help but debate. Why does Lord Nguyen want to accept him? After all, reaching the title level at such a young age really makes people jealous. It's Nguyen Day's consistent behavior. If you can't say it before, then you will be slapped. On the outside, gentle, in fact, the energy emitted is enough to make people around you hold their breath. Even the 4 great families cannot refuse. Nguyen Thien Than's aura forced the person to slowly say that unexploited resources of the secret realm are truly a waste. Only by pooling excellent resources can one develop their full power. To Bin towards Nguyen Thien, then soft mouth, just thinking, elite person. He is the person he considers to be elite, yes. Su Bin's face showed disgust. I hate the type of people who consider themselves everything. Claim everything as your own. Don't let anyone touch it. If someone dares to rob, they will chase him to death. Nguyen Thien Nguyen's face looked a bit unhappy when he heard that. It's funny that if you have the ability, it's natural to chase after someone. A bunch of brats like you think they can stand on equal footing with me. It's just ridiculous. Then he raised his hand, and the intense energy suddenly formed a large circle, loudly blowing the hair and clothes of the people standing around. He said slowly, I asked one last time, choose to obey or die. To Bin's face was indifferent. No matter how many times he asked, Nguyen Angel raised his hand when he heard that. What a pity, then go away. He waved his hand down. A green sword, 4 to 5 meters long, suddenly hit To Bin. Suddenly, Anna, blocking To Bin's front, raised her empty hand and gently touched the tip of the sword, causing it to instantly break into 1,000 pieces. The group of old people standing outside saw this scene. Everyone's eyes widened. Lord Nguyen's move was at least a level 9 strategy that could be reluctantly accepted, but that girl only used one hand to block it. Could it be that it is also legendary level? T Longjiang base also has legendary level? Nguyen Thien then glared at the girl who had just attacked. Was it a beauty spell? His face became serious. His energy was hidden very well. I was almost fooled. Are you his master? To Bin turned to ask. He hadn't told him to attack yet. Anna crossed her arms and said, Rule 1, protect the store. If I don't misunderstand. If you follow the employee rules, you will gain points to level up and become an excellent employee. If you do not follow the rules, you will lose points. You didn't say you wanted me to get points deducted, right? What a mischievous act. Nguyen Thien stood there and was eaten by a huge avocado. Cold light shot out in all directions in his eyes. His clothes were thick with murder. It's a legend that I had avocado stuffed into my mouth. Nguyen Thien shouted loudly. Dare to put me aside. You will know what a festival is. He immediately gathered his energy. The next second, the fists and feet were shocking, directly hitting the Yuan Angel and flying out of the pet store. He was even thrown to the wall opposite the store before stopping, and a group of powerful men with titles were outside the door. The shop couldn't help but stand in place. At this time, Dao Venerable was extremely frightened. Nguyen Thien then could be easily blown away by people. Seeing this, the elders shouted in horror and shouted at Lord Nguyen. At this moment, in Anna's hand, the golden light that had just emitted was slowly dissipating. Obviously this growth came from her hand. Anna doesn't want to say much right now. Dare to interrupt me while I'm talking. Do you want to die? This is not a desert. Don't kill mean people. Don't touch the kids around you who are my customers. The rest is up to you. Anna turned her gaze to the crowd of people outside the store. It's not a problem if she's missing an arm or a leg. Then we have to control the force, rather than killing them. It will be difficult. The murderous aura emitted from her body was truly ferocious. Even blind people felt great pressure, and the old people couldn't help but be shocked. It's a demon store. The staff is so rude. Fighting with the store owner is the only way to send an SOS signal. Just when everyone was extremely confused, suddenly came the voice of the original angel, born from a dark soul, also transformed into a soul in the underworld. Come out here, my strongest pet. He raised his hand to summon space, and terrible cold air poured out of the crack like an abyss. Immediately after that came out a tall figure, a human-shaped pet beast as big as a titan. Its entire body was dark. The front of its chest was empty. The light shining on it was immediately swallowed up. The Dark Shadow King Beast also has 4 huge arms, each holding a different weapon, each weapon radiating rich demonic energy. Obviously a king beast exists.